Hello and welcome to Finance Tea, where I spill the tea on all things personal finance. Today we're going to be talking about evictions. For some of my naughty TEOs out there, don't worry, this is a judgment-free zone, okay? We all run into a little bit of trouble every now and then, but you're here because you're trying to figure out how to wipe your record clean, because maybe you're trying to move again and you want to make sure that you're approved, because it's really hard out here for renters. Well, I'm here to teach you how to move your evictions from your rental history and your records so that you can get approved for housing sooner rather than later. And be sure to stick until the end of this video for all of the ways to clean up your rental history, because there are several ways to do this and each one will depend on your unique situation. At the end of the day, your journey to getting your evictions removed or expunged from your rental history will first involve finding out if your landlord's reason for actually filing an eviction on you follows the eviction laws in your state. Generally, the 4 grounds for evictions are similar all across the states, and they are refusal or delay in rent payments, lease agreement violation, being destructive, or no cause, okay? And they just send you an eviction notice. But again, I will get into the details about all of this later in this video. Now, let's get into the tea about evictions, how long they stay on your credit, and how these evictions affect your housing prospects. So how long does an eviction stay on your record? So according to the federal eviction laws, an eviction stays in your credit for 7 years. And the timeline applies to both credit and rental history reports. So these evictions will be on your credit. But after 7 years, that entry should disappear from your record automatically. Now, something to take note of is that these reporting agencies, they take note of the day that you first failed to pay, regardless of the time of the actual eviction. So they take the first notice of your failure to pay your rent as the starting point of when it hits your record, okay? And you can view your eviction details by accessing your credit report from the 3 major credit bureaus, which are Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And sometimes even after the 7 years, it could still stay on your credit report depending on the situation. Maybe there's like a legal judgment against you or something's happening with that particular situation. Again, it depends on your specific situation. And sometimes these credit agencies don't take them off your credit report, which is why you should look at your credit report as often as possible to just make sure that those negative marks are off of your credit report if there's no reason for them to still be on there, right? So you just want to make sure that they are completely off. Now, how does an eviction actually affect your credit? The good thing is evictions don't necessarily affect your credit score. However, an eviction will be on your credit report, so future landlords can actually, see that you've had an eviction in the past, and it could definitely affect your rental prospects. Now, here's how it could actually affect you. Usually it doesn't affect your credit score, but here's how it actually could, is if your landlord employs a collection agency to collect past rent that's been due. So how does an eviction affect your future housing prospects? Of course, like I said before, your prospective landlords will be looking into your credit history to make sure that you don't have evictions on your credit history, on your records. And so, if you have one on there, then that's how it will negatively affect your future housing prospects, because many landlords, they typically want to, have tenants that are, have good rental history, right? They can actually trust that they will actually pay their rent on time and they don't have a history of non-payment. Also, a rental debt on your credit report could affect your chances of getting approved for a mortgage as well in the future. It could even affect your chances of getting a credit card or a loan as well. So making moves to actually remove an eviction from your credit history is paramount, especially if you're planning on, buying a home, taking out a loan for something. Definitely, you want to get that removed from your history, right? Your credit history. Okay, so now we've come to the point of this whole video. How can I remove an eviction from my public record? So if you're trying to get an eviction removed before your 7 years is up, right? It's a little bit difficult to get the court to actually do this on your behalf. The courts can only allow an eviction removal if the property manager did not follow the proper eviction procedure or violated eviction laws. So that's dealing with the courts, right? However, if your property manager followed all the rules, there's still a way for you to get your eviction removed from your records. The first thing you want to do is you want to pay all outstanding debt. So if all of your rental arrears are legitimate, you want to plan to settle that debt immediately, okay? So you want to talk to the collections agency, and you can, if you can't afford the actual full amount, you can work out a payment plan to get that debt paid off. You can even negotiate for more time, or you can negotiate for the amount to be lowered. So it just depends on what your landlord or your collection agency, decides. So once it's decided on your payment plan, the payment arrangement that you have agreed to pay with the collection agency, you should definitely get it in writing, okay? Sign an agreement, sign a contract, and make sure that it's in writing, okay? The next thing you want to do after you pay it off is to request that the collections agencies remove it from your credit report, okay? Because even after you pay that amount that's due, it'll still remain on your credit report, even though the status may change from unpaid to paid. But still, you don't want that mark on your report, because remember, future prospects, future landlords, even a future home loan, these people will look into your credit history and they'll see that it was there. Even if you paid it off, it'll still look bad, like you've done this in the past. So you want to get it removed. The next thing you want to do is request that the landlord remove it from tenant screening reports. These tenant screening reports are available to all future, all landlords, right? It's public record. So you want to ask your landlord to remove it so that, future landlords can't see it on your records. Now, you can also add this as a condition in that previous contract that you signed, as far as the payment agreement, that, in order to get their payment, they have to agree to remove this from the tenant screening reports as well. It has to be a condition for you paying off your balance. And then, of course, just make sure that it's in writing, okay? It's just to avoid any future disputes. The next thing you want to do is to ensure that the changes have been made. Give the landlord about 14 to 30 days to remove your eviction from your credit report and from any of your tenant screening records. Okay, so give them about like a month to get that removed. Now, if it still appears on your credit history or your tenant screening report, you can send a reminder to your landlord. And if it still is there after you reminded them, then you can file a dispute on that eviction. And the way that you want to dispute the eviction is through your credit bureaus and your tenant screening agencies. So how you'll do this is you will request your credit report, and then you want to highlight the sections related to your eviction. So the next thing you want to do is you want to attach those agreements that you signed with your landlord to pay off the balance and to get your records removed, your evictions removed from your records. You want to attach that to the letter that you send to the credit bureaus, okay, and to the tenant screening agency as proof that you agreed to pay off, your remaining debt and to have them remove it from your records. So what will happen is that these organizations they'll investigate your claims, and then they'll go ahead and expunge the eviction from your records within about a month, okay, within about 30 days. They'll go ahead and do it on your behalf. But again, remember, you want to make sure that you have all these agreements in writing, and you want it to be very specific so that you can have proof that, hey, the agreement wasn't carried out on behalf of the landlord. They didn't carry out their part of the agreement. So please get this removed from my report, okay, from my credit history. So yeah, so that's how you get an eviction removed from your credit history and from your rental history as well. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe for more tea regarding personal finance. Make sure that you hit that bell to be notified when I drop my next video. Help your girl out. And until next time, y'all, bye.